Once again, that's just like an introduction to what the organization is all about, and we've been able to achieve within the 1 year that we are starting the operation. It's noteworthy to let us know that we're going to be having great men that have made impact, like I said, presenting to us on their achievements and how they were able to make those achievements, the challenges they faced, and how they were able to overcome them to inspire us to be able to do more. We're going to be having a little change because the first presenter is not currently available, but will still be joining. So we are going to be starting with the third presenter. So the third presenter will be presenting for us, and that is the person of Dr. Shehu Shamsudeen. She is already here. He has joined us right from even the beginning of this program, and then he is going to be the one that will be presenting first. So with your emoji in the chat box and with any form of way of welcoming this renowned person, and it comes to veterinary profession, I want us Dr. Shamsudeen Shehu. Doctor, you are welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Or let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from across the globe. Thank you very much, EMMSAR. Thank you very much, Dr. Sopeju, for this opportunity to share a little of what I have been about and what we have gone through, you know, as veterinarians who decided to take the path of business, you know. So again, okay, let me share my screen. Sorry, just a minute. Maybe Dr. Sopeji should share my presentation. I seem not to be able to find it.
Yeah, you can stop presenting so that I'll be able to do that for you.
Okay. Or you just give me a minute. Let me look for it. Sorry, I actually saved it.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can actually wait.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can see this.
Yeah, I can see your screen share.
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be on this call with fellow young veterinarians who are doing a lot of great things and trying to see how we can together move this profession forward. I also want to thank EMMSAR for this opportunity, and I'll just go straight to, basically I'll be talking about strategic business development for young vets in Nigeria, 10 things to know. So basically my presentation is more or less going to be like a discussion and not really full of lectures or, abstract stuff. I just want to do a quick run on maybe 10 very important things that you should consider, whether you want to go into clinical practice, or you're already in clinical practice, or you're in consulting, or you are in sales and distribution. The veterinary profession holds a lot of opportunities, and from the lineup of the speakers, I see that maybe one or two of them are going to dwell much more on the different opportunities that you can find within the veterinary sector, or veterinary livestock or animal health sector in Nigeria and globally. So my presentation is not really going to be about those different opportunities. Someone else is going to do it. What I want to do is to say that, okay, whatever you have decided to do, or first of all, how do you even decide where to play, which opportunities you should look out for and where to play, and then what I think are the success factors. So they're almost the same for any kind of business, whether it's veterinary or not veterinary related, but I will be making some specifics, when it comes to points that I think are more peculiar to veterinary practice or veterinary, the business within the veterinary, sector. So this is a bit about me. I hold a DVM and MSc, and then recently a fellow of College of Veterinary Surgeons of Nigeria. I have been running a company called Vet Consult for 9 years now, located in Kaduna, where we are about access to animal health services at the last mile level. I'm also a business development service provider accredited by SMEDEN, Small Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, where I am certified to be able to provide business advisory services to small businesses in Nigeria. I also teach partly at Kaduna Business School and Enterprise Development Center of Pan-Atlantic University, Lagos. I have been opportunity to mentor a lot of young business owners and different projects. You win EYE Africa, Zoetis Alpha Business Training, CADI, and a lot much more. I have also been a consultant to projects that I have to do with animal health, business development, livestock. I have consulted for Procom McAfee, which is a UK aid-funded project. I've consulted for Pula. Pula is a digital insurance services. And then Zoetis Alpha, of course, Zoetis is one of the biggest global animal health companies. And I work with them on the Alpha Initiative, which is a project funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And then recently, I got a short-term engagement with FAO, where we are working to help develop a business, a sustainable business for veterinary paraprofessionals. So I'll go straight into the presentation. I hope you guys are hearing me. You can just type in the chat box. I hope I'm audible enough. Hello? Okay.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay.
I hear you. We can hear you. You are audible.
Great, thank you very much. The moderator and Dr. Sokweju, if you don't mind, I like to have presentations that are full of life. If the people who are online can just drop where they are joining from, just to get them engaged. Just you can say Lagos, Abuja. Let's know the spread of the people we're talking to, and I think it's going to make it more interesting.
Sure, I'll do that on the chat box now.
Okay. Sokoto, Maiduguri, Abuja, great. Scotland, wow. So we have international, participants, Ibadan, Umuahia, Abia State, Benue, Kano. This is great. This is great spread, actually. Okay. So, Maiduguri, Katsina. Yeah, so I'm glad we have a very, very interesting spread. This is now an international, congregation. So what is your why? Like, this is where you're supposed to start from. This is how most successful people started from, and this is where some of us are also trying to come up. If you don't have a why, you need to really go back and sit down and look at why are you actually doing it. I think this is, for me, the most important question in business, or in whatever endeavor. Why are you doing this? Like, why? Why would you want to wake up early in the morning every day and go to that office, or go to that veterinary practice, or go to that consulting firm? Or you need to actually be able to sit down and envision, look at the future. What is it that you want to change, and what is the picture of the end after you have dedicated 30-40 years to do this? What do you expect to happen to to the ecosystem at the end of the day? Just like EMMSAR is doing, you can see clearly that EMMSAR is, has a clear vision, and that is part of the reasons why they are bringing up all of us to, to play in the vision and then be able to achieve that. So as an individual, as an organization, you need to have your vision. Your vision is, what does the end look like?
This guy is presenting on something.
Okay. So
Shamsudeen.
maybe if you
Please,
just
let's all be
mute
muted,
everybody.
please.
Yeah, I think you can automatically mute everybody so that.
Yeah, the host should automatically.
Right. Okay. Good. So, what's the vision that you have? The vision is, where are you going to? Where are you going to at the end of the day? In 30 years, in 40 years, in 50 years? What do you want to change about veterinary practice, about livestock, about animal health? You need to really sit down and define your vision clearly. And vision has to be something that can be shared. It's something that inspires other people to want to join you in this endeavor. It inspires confidence it attracts partnership, but most importantly, it instills leadership in you, and people will be able to follow you, because first of all, you have to be the carrier of your vision yourself, and then people will join you. Mission, yeah, often mission and vision are being used interchangeably, but mission, it's actually more specific, telling you specifically what you want to do, and how do you intend to do it, also in a in specific terms. So if your vision, for example, is to end poverty in Africa, for example, that's too big, that's a vision. But mission can be something like, say that ensure, you use animal health service delivery to drive livestock productivity and improve income of farmers, for example. That's a mission. And it means that in that mission, you are putting a little bit of how you intend to do it. You need to have goals. So you have to break down this mission that you want to achieve into goals, small bits. In the next 2 months, what do you want to achieve? In the next 3 months, what do you want to achieve? And in the next 1 year, what do you want to achieve? These are goals these are your deliverables. These actually are things that you track to be able to know if you are making progress towards the mission, your vision, or not. And then you have objective. Objectives are now the main how. Now you are now coming down specifically to actually state the how. Objectives have to be smart. They call it smart. They have to be simple. They have to be measurable. They have to be achievable. They have to be realizable, and then time bound. Meaning that if you want to say that these are your objectives, you must be able to tell us when do you want to achieve it. What will be the success? How would you know that you have achieved it? Things like key performance indicators. How would you know that you have achieved that objective? It has to be realistic. Don't fool yourself when you're trying to say, I want to gain 500 customers by end of September. If you know that your business, your capacity as a business, your marketing strategy, your customer relationship strategy cannot fetch you up to 500, maybe maximum is what you can get is 100 to 200. I think you need to be very objective and realistic. So goals, objectives have to be smart also. Simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So this why I'm spending a lot of time on this why is it's very, very important. That is what determines whether you are going to have focus or not. That's what determines whether if you start up a business today or a practice today, and then tomorrow somebody else offers you a government appointment, this is what helps you decide whether you want to take that appointment or not. But if you don't have that why, it is easy to have you running around every job opportunity or everything that comes your way. So your why actually gives you focus, and we're going to see more later on how to achieve a good why. And then you look at self-assessment. Most times we tend to want to copy what other people are doing. And I think this is not peculiar to veterinary business alone. In Nigeria, mostly people think that we do Me Too business. Okay, since Dr. Sokweju is doing this, there must be money and let me also do it. Meanwhile, there are back ends, some things that I will call maybe behind the scenes, assessment and things that you really need to look at. It starts from you as the founder or the owner of the idea. Who are you? You need to really discover yourself, and then you know where your strengths are, and then how do you play on those strengths. So we're not all cut out for, and let me also say this, we're not all cut out for owning our own businesses. There's nothing wrong in you being what we call intrapreneur. When you have great companies like EMMSAR and other companies, we need people who can also think like Dr. Sokweju, who can act like him to help drive this mission. We must not all, run our own businesses. That is very, very key. Some people are not just cut out for that. They are better when they are being managed by someone else. They are better when they have what we call job security. They are better when they have 8 to 5. They know they're going to start work by 8 and close by 5, and that's all. So it's not a crime at all. So, and what will enable you to actually define that is by doing a proper SWOT analysis. And so what is a SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis basically is about knowing your strengths. What are your strengths as a person internally? I mean, what are those things that define you as a person? Weaknesses, what are those inherent things that you may want to call your shortcomings as a person? Because all of these determine the kind of business you're going to be able to run and how successful you're going to be in business or in project or in whatever endeavor. So opportunities, what are the things that you are around you externally? What advantages are there within your personality, within your network, within your ecosystem that you can, you can leverage on to be able to push that idea, into fruition, or to be able to scale up that business idea. And then threats are things that externally you think can stop you. Threats can be government policies, threats can be maybe your culture, threats can be your beliefs, your religious beliefs, and so on. All of these things actually play very, very important role. Like for this person, the strength, some of the strengths is good at making jewelries, it's optimistic. These are natural things that you need to be true to yourself about. Nobody else can help you do a SWOT analysis. Are you self-confident? Nobody else will tell you. You would just determine if you're self-confident, if you are good at making jewelry. Do you have people skills? These are inherent things that only you, and it's going to determine your success in what kind of business you decide to choose. This person has problem with planning, lack of planning, disorganized, is very busy, tendency to procrastinate. This is some of his personality, traits. Opportunities this person can establish. So those strengths, how can you come with the strengths that you have? How can they become opportunities? Because most times opportunities come from internally from the strengths that you have, and then it now work with the environment that you are, and then that is when you'll be able to now clearly see opportunities. And that's why you see the Dangotes, the Odetolas, and those guys, and when they delve into some businesses that people never thought would be profitable, and then you see them becoming market leaders there. These people have a very good level of self-awareness. They have, studied themselves, they have studied their businesses. You can also do SWOT analysis for your business if you're already running a business. And that brings me to something also very, very important. It's a tool called Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese, it's based on a Japanese mythology. It's used in self-assessment. And this has worked a lot for me. It has worked a lot for most of my mentees that have been opportune to have been taken through this tool by my humble self. So what does Ikigai do? It helps you to actually bring out what exactly is likely to be, the best business or the best path or career path that you are going to take. And that has to do with a lot of them. That's to do with these 4 components. One, it starts from passion, just like I mentioned before, passion. What is it that you are passionate? So these are things that you need to ask yourself. What is that thing that you are passionate about? Like, you are passionate about something, about changing something, about doing something. This comes naturally from your heart, like something that you can even do without anybody paying you for. Like you are happy, you are passionate, you are emotional about. So that is where you start from. What is it that you are passionate about? You start from that. And then what is it that you love? So you just you can name like 3 or 4 things that you're passionate about. What is it that you love to do? Yeah, you can be passionate about some things, but sometimes you don't find it, very attractive. You don't find it very easy to want to do. So what is it that, again, what are those things that you love? Those things that you're passionate about, if there are 5, you can choose 3 that you love, 3 most. And this can be anything. So I'm not saying you have to start from saying, I love surgery. I love, yeah, they can be part of it, but some of them can just be natural. And I like to meet people. I like to share knowledge. I like to, you know, those kind of things. But of course, you can include your surgical skills and your passion for surgery, treating animals. You love animal welfare. That's what you love. And then what is it that the world needs? Because you may have passion for something. You may be good at something. Let me start all over again. So the best way to make you easily understand this, what is that something that you are good at? Like, what is it that you are good at? I'm good at meeting people. I'm good at sharing knowledge. I'm good at surgery. I'm good with, taking care of animals. I'm good with laboratory skills. What is it that you are good at? That's the first place to start with. Now, that thing that you are good at, among them, which one do you love most? So if you are good at lab, you are good in tech, you are tech savvy, you are good in laboratory diagnostic, you are good in training people, which one of them do you love most? You can just, if you have 5 things that you are good at, narrow it down to like 2 and say, okay, I love surgery, I love laboratory practice, for example. So between what you are good at and what you love, that is what is called passion. So if you have people saying passion is between what you are good at and what you love to do, what you can do for free or what you can die for. That's what passion is all about. And then you now move to what is it that the world needs. So you are good at something, you are passionate about it. Among those 4 or 5 things, do people really, which one of them do people really need? And people here mean the customers, your beneficiaries, your stakeholders, your funders, depending on what kind of business or project you are in. So you also come down to narrow those things. Okay, yeah, I know that I'm passionate, I'm good at, and I love X, Y, Z, but sincerely speaking, I know that this is the only thing that my customers or people need right now is good laboratory, access to good laboratory. So you narrow down to that level. So this is your love for something and your need, what the people need. This is what mission is all about. Your mission is to be able to satisfy what people need using what you love doing. Are we following, or I'm being too technical? I think that this is the foundation and it's very important that we get it. Okay, so what the world needs. Now, the world may need something, and this is where, honestly, I've seen a lot of veterinarians and innovators, make a lot of mistakes, especially those who are in the mobile technology industry. Yeah, there's this, passion, there's this, being passionate, there's this thing about using technology. But the main question we need to ask ourselves is, okay, do people actually need this? If they need them, are they willing to pay? Can people pay for these technologies? Are you designing the technology or your services or your products in the way that people will be able to pay for them? Because this is the fundamental of any business. Revenue is key, profitability is key. If you must remain sustainable in whatever idea, you must come to this point where you're going to tell yourself the truth. Are people actually willing to pay? Are they able to pay for this technology, for this surgery, for this lab, lab services, for this whatever idea that you have? So what the people need and what people are able to pay for, are they affordable to them, is what your vocation is all about. So you must be able to match what the people need and what people are willing to pay for. So by the time you go through all of this exercise, if you have 10 ideas, 10 things you are good at, you have 5 things that you love among them, you now narrow that up to 3 that people need. You know that this can actually solve people's problem. And then you now come back. Possibly you end up with just one or two things that meets all of these criteria. Something you are good at, something you love, something people need, and something people can pay for. So this is what Ikigai is. I will indulge you to all go back home. You can check this online, go back and do this exercise, and I assure you are going to, discover a lot of opportunities that are sustainable, not just opportunities that, can help you run a sustainable business. Yeah, and that also brings me to opportunity mapping. So it goes back to your problem. Now, what do people need? We stop at the level of what people need and what they can pay for. So as an innovator or an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you are out there to actually meet or exceed the needs of your customers. Every other thing, your surgical skills, your tech skills, your excellent product, your excellent, environment, whatever you're trying to do, if it is not going to satisfy or exceed your customer expectation, it means that for them, it is not yet a problem.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, so you need to really go back and see what are the problems in your environment, what are the problems that are calling for solution, and these solutions are coming at a cost. So again, going back to what people are willing to pay for. And as professionals, most times we also make this mistake to want to assume the problems on behalf of the customers. What we think has been the problem most times are not usually the problems. They are not the problems, they are not the most important problems the customers is trying to solve. So as an entrepreneur, you need to really dig out, go out there. A lot of ways to find out what the problems are. One of the tools that I have used over time is to go to the market. When I say market, go into where your potential customers are. Live with them, stay with them, gist with them, collect information, study them, look at their life. If you are building a solution for poultry farmers, for example, you need to immerse yourself. You need to imagine a poultry farmer. You need to go to them, talk to them, study what they are doing, see where the main problem is. I mean, what is it that they are struggling to have and that they don't have and that they are willing to pay for when they have it? So this is the fundamentals of every business. You may think that what your customer needs is good pricing. It may not be that good pricing. I mean, low pricing strategy may be what you think that is their problem. But if you dip, much deeper into their life, into what they do, you will discover that possibly it's just quality they are looking for. They are looking for a product, whatever the cost. Yeah, we talked about being able to pay, but they are able to pay. All they need look around accessibility to the solution, look around pricing, look around convenience, and all of that. So defining the problem, it's very, very important. And what problem, maybe Dr. Sokoji may be trying to solve a problem based on what he knows about his customer base, his target market, his environment. It may be different if you are in another state or another location in Lagos or Ibadan. If you try to copy the solution that Dr. Sokoju has, it may not work for your own peculiar, the peculiarity of your location, your customer base, and the actual problem that they have. And they may still be in the same environment. So you need to define your customer. And this is also very important. So who are your customers? As a business, right from day one, you may not be able to know all of your customer groups, but you need to have at the back of your mind, look, I'm going to be serving middle income pet owners in Lagos or in Ibadan. So all of your business ideas, your strategy, your marketing, your sales, your technology, everything that you are putting into your business should be targeted as those group of customers. Otherwise, you would have a lot of headache trying to satisfy everybody. I've seen a lot of businesses trying to be all things to everyone. You want to target poor people, you want to target middle income earner, you want to target high-end income earner. And these people, their problems are different. They are different strata, different levels. The kind of, if you're in small animal practice, for example, the kind of attention, the kind of quality, the kind of products, the depth of services you are going to be able to provide to somebody in Lekki or Ikoyi may be different from what you probably want to to provide to a customer in maybe another suburb, maybe in a village in Epe or some of these areas. It doesn't work that way, and is a natural law in business. You need to actually start out by knowing who do you want to target and build all your solutions around those target customers. In the future, you can decide to expand your business. You can decide to say, okay, now I want to move and diversify to another target group because you have done very well with this target group. You understood them. You are providing services. For example, I know a vet in Abuja, a very senior vet, who runs up to like 3 or 4 veterinary clinics. But if you go to those clinics, they are in different locations and they are targeted at different, client group. There's one of the clinics that's 90%, targeted at expatriates living in Abuja, people from embassies and so on. Those are the people you are going to find coming to that practice. It's different from another practice that owns elsewhere where you have just middle income earner, and you could just see from even the design of the practice, the quality of service, the tools they are using, and all of that, they are all different. He has another practice where it's just targeted as farmers, as poultry farmers, because it's located in a poultry, a poultry hub around Abuja. So this is how you think about business and so what's your solution? Can your solution actually exceed what they are already having? Because whatever you are trying to do, you are likely not going to be the first person. Somebody else must have started doing something similar. How is your solution better than what is it that you are bringing new to the market that will enable those customers to prefer your business, to prefer your practice, to prefer your tech solution to others that are already in the market? So this is something that you really also need to look deeply into. So you now have to develop and execute your business plan. Many vets, unfortunately, do not have an idea of how to go about business plan. And I'm also seeing, I have not been paid to advertise, but I know that Dr. Sokweji is already also running another company where they focus on helping small businesses to develop business plans, to develop strategies and business support services. Sometimes you actually need experts to help you, but you should also understand the basics. What are the basics of your business plan? Business plan helps if you say, okay, now, yes, I want to change the world. That's just an abstract thing. How do you want to do it in a profitable manner? You need like a guide. You need a document that guides you on what you need to achieve, how much you need to spend, how much are you expected to get every year or every quarter. And that's simply what a business plan is about. There are, a lot of intrigues about writing business plans, but basically the business plan enables you to attract funding also, a lot of funding opportunities, grants, but I'm not seeing many vets having those kind of access, because basically what they need, first of all, is a very good business plan and a good pitch, and then so on. So a business plan identifies the problems they're trying to solve, the solutions, that's what are your products and services. What's your solution about? How is it better than any other solution? And then product and services, specifying which product. I want to deal in pet products. I want to deal in drugs, vaccines, technology app, and you are describing the products in detail in a way that people will be willing to want to know more about it. And then you have market analysis and plan. Here, you need to show yourself, your team, and the bank that want to fund you in case you are looking for funding. What do you know about the market? So if you are working in the livestock industry, what do you know about livestock industry in Nigeria or in your state? And how does your business fit into the different opportunities that are there in that market? And what is your plan? How do you intend to get your own market share? So if there are 100 people doing the kind of your business, what percentage of that business do you want to get in the next 1 year? Do you want to be like, okay, for every 100 businesses being done within the animal health sector, I will try to have 20. That's 20% of it. So here, marketing analysis is telling you about the industry. Is it an industry that is growing? Is it declining? Is it stable? We know that agriculture is growing now. In the last quarter, we heard that is the leading sector now in our economy. And that's very, very positive for us. It means that a lot of activities will be going on for people who are within the agri space, the livestock subsector, especially for us as vets. So you also describe the competition. Look at the people who are those people in the environment who are doing the kind of things that you're doing. You analyze even the competitors. So that you know what are their weaknesses that you can capitalize on and make your own business better. That's what is called competitor analysis. It has its own, house. Then operations and production plan. How do you intend to operate? What time do you want to open your office? What time do you want to close? How many services do you want to be able to carry out in a day? How many surgeries? How many lab tests? How many users of your app, if you are in an app? This is what operations plan is about. What are the indices? What are the processes that are involved? From somebody coming into your clinic, if you are up to when he's going to be, discharged, what are the different steps? Do you have standard operating procedure in a way that if I'm not the one tomorrow the client is meeting, the other person he's meeting, he's met, will also be able to do almost all of the processes that have taken the client through the previous day. If it's products you are producing, maybe you produce pet products, you are producing drugs or feed additives. What are the steps involved in that production? Because you need to also identify these things, because these are what will determine even the volume of items you are going to produce in the next 1 month, in the next 2 months, and that will now go into your financial plan. Because for every operation, you have to cost it. What is the cost implication? What does it cost you to produce 100 pet soap, for example? And what are the processes that are involved? It's very important for sake of consistency. Hello, sir.
Yeah, the time. Thank you.
Okay. How many more minutes do I have?
Already exceeded. Thank you so much, sir.
This is serious. Okay, so you know what? Just give me 2 minutes to just round up. So you have to develop also your competencies. If you want to be successful, you need to have business training, communication. You need to develop your social skills and so on. You also need support system. You cannot survive this, days without proper mentorship. You need to get mentors from within and outside the profession. You need to join professional networks. You need to join fellowships. There are a lot of fellowships on business management, on veterinary practice out there. You need support system, people you can fall back to, when you have issues. And then you need to structure your business, get registered, have policies, have job descriptions, and then blow your trumpet. We in vet practice, most times we try to downplay the essence of branding and marketing and telling the story, your story of your business. This has a lot of implication in attracting businesses for you, in attracting funding, in attracting many other kinds of support. and then you need to partner. You can't do it alone. If somebody is doing something and you think that is going to help your business to grow, why not partner with him? And then if somebody has a technology, an app, you don't have to also go and build that app. How can you use that app to enhance your business? And then you need to know how to raise funds, a lot of funding opportunity, bootstrapping. This is you raising funds before. For example, you can have services, raise funds from your services, and then you now use those funds to build your business. Personal savings, family and friends, you all know that. Bank, financing, a lot of things, but most importantly, I would like you to focus on looking out for grants and crowdfunding. A lot of them are there on the internet, a lot of opportunities there. And finally, I will just stop here. If you're already running a business, there's what is called answer matrix that helps you to know what is the next level. So you have an existing product, and the market is already there. What you need to focus on is market penetration. How can you penetrate the market? If you have a market that is already existing, said. Yeah, thank you very much. I would be glad to take your questions and comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Shehu Shamsudeen. We are so pleased, and you have given us a lot to think about, very much to think about. Thank you so much. And I know that with this, there are a lot of people that may have questions, but I want to encourage us, if you have questions and you have the opinion, put it in the chat box immediately. Because we want to go to the next speaker now that is already also available to present. So please, you can drop your question in the chat box in case you may forget. But at the end of the whole presentation, we'll take all the questions. I want to believe that Dr. Shehu Shamsudeen will still be around to attend to those questions. So please drop it in the chat box, and we will be able to take the question one after the other and answer them. Let me quickly share something with us as we welcome the next presenter. So with this, I want us to welcome the next presenter, Dr. Adebayo, who is the Chief Executive Officer of EMMSAR Veterinary Services Limited. Thank you very much, Dr. Adebayo, for your time. You are welcome. Sorry, we can't hear you. I don't know if it is from my hand alone. I know you are talking, but I'm not. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, but faintly.
Dr. Bayo, please increase the volume of your laptop.
Okay. Yeah, I've already done that.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say thank you to Dr. Adebayo for giving me at the time. So, what we have here is EVMEDS, innovation, interventions in our business.
So I'm not still sure we can hear you. It's really, really very faint.
We share Dr. Shamsudeen very, very well.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think he's just trying to adjust his microphone so that we can enjoy his session. Well, the video you just saw was actually his idea. He was the one that brought in the innovation of using data to help gather information in different poultry production and using data to decide the air status and some other management and operations from the farm without necessarily having to be present on the farm. So, and he's going to be sharing the idea with us too today, how he was able to develop the idea. And that's one of the reasons why I would love to have him very audible so that we can all learn one or two things from this. So let's just try to be patient as we wait for him to make the necessary adjustments. Thank you very much for your patience.
Can you hear me loud and clear now? Is it better now? Can we hear me loud and clear now? Is it better now? Oh. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's getting better now. You are currently muted though.
Hello, can we hear you loud and clear now? Is it better now? Okay. Can I go on now, please? Hello, Dr. Shehu. Hello. Hello.
Dr. Awoyele, your volume is very faint. It's very, very faint.
I think it's volume. Because I can hear you loud and clear.
Ah.
So I'm thinking that while we wait for Dr. Adebayo to fix we already have Dr. Daniel Olaniyan available. Dr. Daniel Olaniyan is also, he has been doing a lot of work around tech and is going to also be giving us some information regarding that. Dr. Daniel, are you set?
Yes, I am.
All right. Will you want to present or I should present for you?
I guess I should do that. I will do that from.
Okay. Please go ahead. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, sir. Just a moment. I'm trying to fetch my document.
All right.
Sorry, document is coming on. Okay, Dr. Shokweji, if you don't mind, please, you can share your screen since this might take a while, so we save time with that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Doc.
All right. Yes. So I was speaking about vet and tech in the labor market. Just in a couple of minutes. And well, I want to use this opportunity to thank Dr. Shukweju for this invite to speak with other vets. My name is Dr. Daniel. I am a veterinarian as well. So like Dr. Shukweju has said, I have done a couple of things around tech and all of that. So I will just be able to share some bits and maybe a little of experience and with some context in the Nigerian ecosystem, as the case may be. So next slide, please. Okay, so we're talking about the vet and tech in the labor market. So my presentation will talk more about the career path in tech, right? So I believe that other conversations that we'll be having in the course of this event would be giving much more context to how tech knowledge impacts on the veterinary profession as a general. So I'll be giving my attention to tech. And of course, any knowledge that is gained, like they say, is not wasted. And like they used to tell us in vet school that a vet can do anything. So pretty much anything you learn, you'll be able to apply it in other aspects. So the training of a veterinarian is rigorous. I'm sure everyone here that has been through vet school will agree. And it equips you with transferable skills that can prepare the mind for a career in tech, right? So, if you have gone through vet school for 6 years, you know how rigorous our training was. And the good thing about our training is not just that, there are a couple of, there are a good number of things that we might not exactly pay attention to as vets. So it's not just the whole medical knowledge, having to work under tremendous amount of pressure, coming to class without even preparing that, you are going to write a test or an exam and, it meets you there. And, when we even go into the real life, we see that, life comes at us unprepared. So the good thing about vet profession, one major thing that, I would always be grateful for is that, there's nothing that, when you get into the outside world, you are not exactly prepared for because of the kind of pressure, the kind of intensity, and the rigorosity of our training while we are in school. So if you ask me, the best profession or the best training to prepare anyone for a career in tech is the veterinary profession. Some people say that, they've been seeing pharmacists that have come into the tech space and they are doing tremendously well. But, I always think that, yes, there is a good mind in veterinarians that people in tech have not discovered. Find a veterinarian, employ a veterinarian in your tech business, tech organization, tech startup, and, you see them do wonders. So next step, next slide, right now. So tech, what do we know tech as? Basically, as they might even have taught us in school, is simply innovative way of solving a problem. Simply innovative way of solving a problem, right? Find a way of solving a problem. So there's always a problem and there has to be a solution. But today, more problems are solved digitally and the trend will continue that way. So we have a lot more problems that have been solved digitally. For example, in Nigeria now, the fintech space is in the spotlight. And if you ask me, the Nigerian financial tech ecosystem is even more sophisticated than in some Western countries. The ease at which you can send money, receive money, and all of that is incredible. So a lot more problems are solved digitally today. Think about major solutions. Say, for example, Uber and Taxify, solving the problem of transportation at ease. So I know many of us must have lost the idea that, oh, I just want to sit in my house and I want a car to come and pick me, even while, Uber and Taxify had not existed, and Bolt rather has not existed, right? So that was a problem. Well, it might look as though it is a luxury problem, but today it is apparently a more major problem, and it has been solved digitally. So talk about a lot of tech ideas. There's Airbnb there solving the problem of real estate and all of that. So there's a lot of problems that can be solved, right? There's a lot of problem in the world, and like they used to say, problem no dey finish. So more problems are being solved digitally. So the future is digital. And the smartest decision for anyone to make is to prepare for the future. So if they say that the future is unknown, well, not really, because the future is really known. It is digital. So we just have to position ourselves to be in a position where we can take full advantage of the digital opportunity of the future. In fact, I will not say it's even digital. I will not say the future is digital. I will say the present is digital. So the future will only become more digital. So what we need to do is to position ourselves to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. Next slide, please. Okay, so here the unfair advantage of tech is growth. Now, if you look at this chart, so if I would ask, what Nigerian bank is like the biggest? I know many people will say GT Bank, many people will say Zenith Bank, some people will say Access Bank, some will say First Bank, right? So, I mean, these are elite banks in Nigeria. So now if you look at this chart, you would see that just at the top here is GT Bank. Just at the top here is GT Bank. Dr. Bayo, can you help me over around GT Bank here, if possible? GT Bank, just this first blue column. Yes, so this is GT Bank. So this is GT Bank, yes. So and that 1988, that is the market cap in dollars. So that is 1.988 billion US dollars. So that is the market cap. In other words, that is the valuation of GT Bank. That is how much GT Bank is valuable. So if you go to Zenith Bank, you see 1854. That means that's the market cap of Zenith Bank, and that is how valuable Zenith Bank has been. So if you'd ask me, well, I don't know so much history of Nigerian banks, but I know GT Bank is not less than 20 years. So if I'm saying GT Bank is 20 years, that means that it was founded in 2000. So I'm sure GT Bank was founded a lot earlier than that. And Zenith Bank, these are banks that are, over 20 years of, in operation. But so just go to the last column, this green one, that is Ope. Ope. So Ope valuation is $2 billion US. $2 billion US. So who could have thought? So it means that Ope is more valuable than GT Bank and more valuable than Zenith Bank. So as a matter of fact, Ope is more valuable than Access Bank and First Bank put together. Isn't that interesting? And I'm sure in the year 2010, or okay, let me go as far back as 2005, there was nothing like Ope, right? So, right, Ope would just be about 10 years, right? And the valuation has already, exceeded GT Bank. So in tech, the unfair advantage is growth. And why tech is important is because it allows scalability. Tech can help you move from 1 to 1 million, right? So that is how exponential the growth of tech is. And these days, nobody wants to wait long time again for things to mature. All we know today is quick and fast because there's 4G. You click on your phone and bam, 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 it has opened and it's very fast. You have, you have access to internet, and there's 5G. So that impacts on our mentality, on our psychology in the long run, even in other things that we do in life. So a business doesn't have to take that long to be profitable again. And how to collapse time is tech. So when we talk about tech collapsing time as corporations, as businesses, as startups, we're also talking about tech collapsing time for us as professionals. So tech can collapse time corporately and can also collapse time as professionals, as individuals. Next slide, please. So since we're talking about vet and tech in the labor market, so how do I begin to make a transition into tech? Like I said, I'll be giving more reference to tech, and we give more other conversations in the course of this event to give us more context to how we bring it into the veterinary space. So first is start attending tech conferences in your area, region, country, gain knowledge and network. Basically, that is the best way to start attending conferences, because the first thing is get knowledge, get understanding, know what you are about to venture into. So you can't just start something. So little wonder we had to go through 6 years training in vet school before we are allowed to practice as professionals in the field. So start attending where you find those knowledges, right? Those knowledge and understanding of what tech is about, start mixing with people in the tech ecosystem. So I remember when I was in school, I used to go around for tech conferences. I schooled in UI, University of Ibadan. So, and Lagos is close by. So many times just leave school and quickly go for one tech conference, go for one tech exhibition in Lagos, so step by step, those were very useful to add to my knowledge, right? So go for tech conferences in your area. Start with your area. There has to be a tech community wherever you are, whether you're in Ilorin or Kaduna, there has to be. And good enough, the internet has helped us to be able to overcome space limitations. So it means that you can even attend a lot of conferences remotely where you don't have to meet people physically, just like this one. So if you're on this call, you have started right? Start by attending conferences like this that would expose you to knowledge. So take online courses, understand different career paths. So, so there are different career paths in tech, which I'll make reference to later, maybe after this slide. So identify them and find your niche, right? To know which part of tech you want to go into. So don't just say, oh, I'm a generalist, I know, there's nothing like that. Even in veterinary profession, there is specialization, right? People specialize in different things, right? Surgery, reproduction, anatomy, and all of that. So you have to find your niche, particular space that you want to be, and then double down on it, then take online courses and begin to learn. So learn your preferred skills. Coding language, programming language can be highly advantageous, especially you are going to tech, can be highly advantageous whatever you choose to do as a career path in tech. Coding skills is can be very advantageous, right? So start building projects. There are different tools to build projects. So as you begin to take online courses, when you find your niche, begin to learn, that you have to build projects. If you are going to build projects, there are tools that you can use. If you are going to be coding, you have to be using a lot of GitHub and all of that. If you are going to be doing design, you have to be using Figma and Behance to, so create an online portfolio. So then look for internships. So as you begin to build your skills, whether coding or whatever you're doing, look for internships, freelancing jobs to enhance your skills, right? So also identify transferable skills from a career. For example, we are a vet, so we have a lot of skill sets, that we have learned by virtue of our training that, you can just bring into your career as a tech person. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. So some careers in tech: web developer, software developer, data scientist, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So data, under data science, you have AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, ML, NLP, natural language processing, computer vision, and a lot of that. So deep neural networks, all of that. So I mean, those are just more specialization of data science. Although the most elementary part of data science will be data analysis, which is so I mean, so anybody that wants to have a path into data science should start as a data analyst and then go on from there. So cybersecurity specialist, of course, you need to, cybersecurity is becoming, more and more popular because, and necessary really, because I mean, now we do most of our things in the cloud, right? So there's a lot of storage that has to be applied in the internet space, and so it has to be secure. So so if you are going to be doing a lot of cyber work, then there has to be security. So cyber security is important. Cloud engineer, product designer, UI UX, can also be a product manager. So I mean, this well, this is basically like a summary. Of course, there's more specialization in some of these careers, but for people that would be really interested in looking at careers in tech, because I mean, so whatever you do here, you can always apply it to a veterinary innovation, when you have one, or if you have to partner with someone that is more into vet practice and not exactly into tech, and you could bring your knowledge together and build something. So, and the good thing about these jobs is that they even pay more than the conventional jobs that we used to know. So in those days, maybe many years, couple of years ago, into a decade, the usual practice is that, veterinarians that leave, many of them go into banking and they earn a lot. And interestingly, some of these jobs, in fact, many of these jobs pay even more than banks would pay and all of that. So even as a product, I know a product manager that earns $1,000 monthly in Nigeria. He just has about 3 years experience or so, and 500,000. Right. So I know a contract product designer. He does UI UX that contracted for a single job of about 1 million naira. Right. So this can be, this is just a job that is going to finish in a period of 6 to 8 weeks. Right. So even if you split it, that's nothing less than 500K in naira per month. So I mean, so these are really high paying jobs because I mean, tech is really the future and the money is in tech. So next slide, please. Okay, so Nigerian tech ecosystem. Yeah, so I just have a little stats here. $1 billion was the total funding that was raised in 2020 by tech startups, and by by the third quarter of this year, they have already raised about $2.2 billion. Third quarter, and 2021 has not ended. So that is already over like about 120% increase in funds that have been raised. So it means that there's more opportunity, there's more funding, there's more resources coming into the tech ecosystem. Ope, for example, is 400 million at 2 billion valuation, right? So so it means that the opportunity here is increasingly massive, right? even in the Nigerian ecosystem. So, I was going to say that, for all those jobs, career paths, the good thing, should I say, one good thing that COVID-19 has brought is that it has encouraged remote work. So, so there are people that even work for US companies from Nigeria, because they have these skills. And funny enough, the US companies and UK companies want to pay you lesser compared to someone that's in US. They do that, but it should not be the norm. But even at that, it's still a lot of money if you're earning in dollars or in pounds and you're living in Nigeria, nonetheless, because you have a stronger currency denomination to earn in. So, this is the state of Nigerian tech. More opportunities, more funding is coming into the system. So it means that there is more opportunity even for individuals to have a career in tech. And also, it is also a good sign that, over time, tech in veterinary profession would improve. And when that happens, the ecosystem would have matured and be able to accommodate a lot of more resources and opportunities for vets and create opportunities for even other people, like job creation and all of that. So next slide, please. So lastly, the demand for, like I said, for tech talent is phenomenal, even in Nigeria. So this trend will continue as more people are becoming founders and more funds are being raised. So the end to having your skill is so that you would find something, right? So you eventually have to maybe start a company in the future, a tech startup in the future, and all of that. So, and more funds are being available, more funds are being raised, right? So the demand for tech talent is, so right now, the demand outweighs the current supply, right? So there is more demand for talents than we have. And if you look at it, there's brain drain in Nigeria, right? Doctors are leaving, even tech guys are leaving, right? Tech guys are leaving, tech guys are working in Nigeria, they want to leave and, relocate to start working with, US companies, UK companies, and all of that. So the opportunity is massive. So it is still very much a blue ocean, as far as I am concerned. So it is not too late, right? It is not too late. So whether 20, whether 25, whether 30, whether 40, whether 50 years old, it's not too late, for anybody to venture into tech, right? And really be very, be very successful at it. So the demand is phenomenal and there's still a lot more tech talents that are needed. So yes, next slide. Yes, so thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking with all of you here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. We are so grateful that you honored our invitation. And thank you so much. Like I said, if you have questions for Dr. Daniel, please, you can type in the chat box so that he can attend to the question. And we can also be able to move forward from there. Because of our time, we're supposed to finish the whole conference by 1, and we just have less than 30 minutes. So please, you can type your question into the chat box so that we can attend to it, everything together because of our time. We are very sorry that we were not able to have more time. Sorry about that. We didn't intend that to be, but that is what we have. So please, we want to go to the last presenter now, the person of Dr. Adebayo is ready for us now. Dr. Adebayo, like I said, is the Chief Executive Officer of EMMSAR Veterinary Services Limited, and he will be presenting to us. I just want to quickly clear all of this thing that has been made, and he will be presenting a slide to us and sharing with us a lot of ideas as we will be able to benefit from. So, Dr. Adebayo, you are welcome, sir.
Can we hear me now? Is it better now?
Yes, loud and clear, really better now.
Thank you. Thanks for being patient.
Sorry, Dr. Adebayo. Dr. Lanre, we are going to attend to your question, but it's going to be after the presentation of Dr. Adebayo. Thank you for your patience. Dr. Adebayo, you can go.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to say apologies for the call. Would you prefer me to share from my side?
You can share from your side if it's not going to be burdensome, and I can share from here too.
Okay. I'm trying to do that right now. Okay, can we all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your
Yes,
screen,
we
sir.
can see.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm Adebayo Awoyele by name. I work with Transferable Veterinary Services. I consider this topic a very important one at a time like this, and it's season in our country, both as Nigerians and also as veterinarians in Nigeria of this 21st century. Innovations, inventions, and interventions in our noble profession. What we all know that change is the only thing that is constant. And for me, the question is this: how are we veterinarians adapting to the change in the society that we are called to serve? And that brings us to the question of how innovative are we in this time and this season. For me, I've looked at it recently that the studies of a veterinarian or the curriculum of a veterinarian really, when you compare it with what is happening on the field, they're quite a distance apart. So it brings me to what is necessary, what is needed for an average veterinarian that is a fresh graduate or an average veterinarian who wants to be relevant in the contemporary time in the 21st century. The first thing is this: you must be able to accept change, both the external change happening around you and the internal change that has to happen within you. Like I said earlier, the only thing that is constant is change. So looking at what is happening now in the educational system, the curriculum of Nigeria, if the curriculum is not changing, the veterinary curriculum is not changing to adapt to the realities in the field, the next question for us this afternoon is this: how do I change myself? And that takes us to the next slide. The ability for us to either initiate the change, the positive change, or join the positive change is what will make us to be relevant as individual veterinarians or as a professional body in Nigeria. And I'm going to expatiate on this. Our ability as veterinarians to see the change coming. And in the last few months, commencing from year 2020, at the commencement of the outbreak of COVID-19, changed the way business is being done globally, meetings are being held globally, even veterinary profession is being practiced in different parts of the world. So for me this afternoon is, how well can we move with the change or initiate the change? How well are we prepared? How well is the student being churned out from the universities well prepared to meet the change? That's the first point. The second point is, how well are the veterinarians on the field adapting themselves to the realities of the fast-paced business world? And it says that, like I said earlier, our ability to initiate the change or to join the change makes the difference on how relevant we will be in the future. So the question is this: why do we study veterinary medicine? And I was opportune to be in a team of a class of graduates in a higher institution some few months ago. I was called to speak with some of them. And these are the same questions I asked those fresh graduates. Why do we choose this particular course called veterinary medicine? Why the rigors in the university? Or why do we go to this higher institution to study this course? And usually I asked everyone around me recently this particular question. And I want us to begin to ruminate. I know we have a lot of veterinarians among us, or probably upcoming veterinarians, or even veterinary students among us, as in this conference now. But the question is, why did you study this particular course? This brings me to the lecture of Dr. Shamsudeen from the North. He talked about the why. And for us to be able to get relevant, just like what he has said, you must understand the why. But interestingly, some of the questions, some of the answers that came from these students, from these fresh graduates, I'm going to highlight them, and then we are going to look at them together, and then we are going to use them as a point of our discussion this afternoon. Common answers from the Nigerian graduates, university final year students that I've read recently. The first, usually 60 to 65% of the answers is number one, I came to university to learn. The second thing is I came to the higher institution to get knowledge. And the last one, which is very funny to me, is to overcome poverty. And I find all these answers very, very interesting. Probably a few years ago, as a student or a fresh graduate, probably I would also have said the same answer. I would have probably preferred the same answer to this question. But I've discovered recently in my few years in the field and in practice that these answers are not the correct answers. And I have my reasons. The first is this: you presently in this particular world where Google gives you almost every answer, or the type of answer Google wants you to have is what is going to pop up within the first few pages. You can learn anything online. I've seen cases where some of the lecture notes are even downloaded online. So for me, it is not just about you coming to the university or graduating from a university because you want to learn. Anybody who has never even passed through the 4 walls of the university might not be able to learn those things, might be able to learn those things online or get those knowledge online. So for me, going to the university now is more than just learning or getting the knowledge. Then the question is this: what next? What then is the reason why we go to school? What reason can you really say is why I actually went to the university to study veterinary medicine? And one thing comes to my mind, and that takes us to the next slide, which says, for me, as a veterinarian, and also as an upcoming veterinarian or a fresh graduate, the first thing that comes to mind is ability to create solutions. And the second thing is to meet regular societal needs. Regular societal needs, which is the second one, secondary for me. But the primary one is for us to be able to create new solutions. And I think that is where the fulcrum and the anchor of this conference holds: innovation, invention, and interventions in the veterinary practice. We must be able to move away from meeting regular societal needs, which I don't underestimate them, but for us to be able to participate in the future, to be able to be strong as individuals, as veterinarians, individual veterinarians, and also as a body of professionals, is to focus on creating new solutions. Creating new solutions, there are quite different, diverse aspects. Dr. Daniel has spoken, Dr. Shamsudeen has spoken, a good number of us have also spoken this morning. For me, it's about solutions. It is about generating new values to fix the recent problems in the country. And I just hope we have a lot of students in this conference this morning. Your study is not just going to make you a vet, or you are not just a DVM holder because you are a vet. You are a DVM holder because you must create solutions. The next question would now be, what type of solution do you want to create? And that takes us to the next slide. What are the new solutions? I wrote here, I said, what new solutions create new rules. And then meeting the regular needs make you to follow the rules. And what are the new solutions we are talking about? Veterinary app, veterinary tech solutions, new veterinary vaccines. We are talking about new veterinary research, research and biomedical research works. We are talking about new veterinary policy and interventions in the country. These are what I call the innovations in the veterinary practice that we as new vets, young vets, must begin to aspire to step into. We have learned about the regulars, meeting the regular needs. The regular needs that I want to talk about is probably you are a vet selling drugs, you are a vet probably selling premix, you are selling feed, or probably you just have a small cottage shop somewhere in the corner of the street in your state. For me, we still need veterinarians who are going to be serving the regular societal needs. But for us to be able to move to the next level, we must stay on the side of solutions. And that is where the big money is. That is where the big recognition is. Everyone, the world is waiting for us to provide new solutions, new value systems to the industry. This is going to take me to the next slide. Who is the 21st century Nigerian veterinarian? And this reminds me of one of the definitions of someone I respect so much, Professor Shehu, which we have been able to add one or two things to his definition. He says a 21st century veterinarian is someone who must first be biomedically literate. So all the pathology, all the microbiology, the veterinary public health, the anatomy, the physiology, the biochemistry, makes you to be biomedically literate. Your veterinary biostatistics of 400, 500, your epidemiological studies, use of GIS, makes you to be statistically numerate. But the latter part of it, which it seems we are not really conscious of yet, is the business consciousness and the tech savvy. And that is where I am going to be talking more this afternoon in the next few minutes. We all have good understanding of the biomedical literacy. We are statistically numerate because you have been taught about statistics, using numbers to know the trends of diseases, the epidemiology, coefficient of variations, when you talk about your ELISA, your PCR, but more, the beauty of this is that you, as a veterinarian in the 21st century, you must think about the cash, the naira and kobo, and the tech that goes with it. Because for me, I was opportune to be in a group of friends in our final year, and the father to one of us, who is a female veterinarian, said, "How many veterinarians are rich?" And I can't forget that question that day. We had finished our final year exams, and the father asked us, it's a team of about 4 of us, and he started mentioning the names of our lecturers, that which of them is rich. And that was a major challenge for me. It was a major paradigm shift for me that day, that if we have studied this much and we have put in so much, both in school and in field, what is the lacuna? Where is the lacuna in our training? And I think it is about the business consciousness and the tech savvy. For us to be able to put our feet on the ground, to be able to show the world that veterinary medicine is not a cause of mistake. And I'm putting that mistake in parentheses. It's for us to be business conscious. And I'm happy that Dr. Shamsudeen has been able to do a lot of business modeling, business training for us. That's the first class we had this morning. And Dr. Daniel has also been able to talk about the tech savvy part, the potentials in the tech savvy part. How do you generate veterinary solutions that will generate a business that runs on tech? And that is what I call the innovation. How do you discover the problem that will generate money for you and then run on technology? And that will take us to the next slide. So in my little time, in my little experience as a veterinarian, I have discovered that what are the things that a veterinary graduate or a veterinarian sells? Every veterinarian is a businessman, especially if you are in private sector. Even if you are in the public sector, there's something you are giving a value. And I summarize it in just two ways. Number one, you are giving out, you are selling, or you are exchanging veterinary information as a value, which is the first level that we have been used to. As a veterinarian in the public service, you are exchanging your veterinary information that you have learned over a period of time for the government salary. If you are in the private sector, the same thing applies to you. The first thing is that you are exchanging your information of poultry medicine, your information of vaccination, your information of immunology, your information that you have on surgery with your client. But the next thing that we have not been able to focus on, and which should be our focus in the next decade, in the next 50 years, in the next century, is how do we transform the veterinary information and have the skill that we transform that information into a business or a solution. For example, if you have experience in poultry or you have large animal, how can you develop a solution that will be able to help a dairy farmer in the north? How can you use your poultry knowledge? I'm having some interference at the back. Hello? Hello? Hello?
He has been muted. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay, so for me, it is about how can you translate that veterinary information. Everybody has the veterinary information who probably has gone through a veterinary school, a licensed veterinary school in Nigeria. People are ready to pay a premium for that veterinary information you have. And I tell people, I tell young veterinarians, a veterinarian sells information. The next thing is, how well are you able to convert that information into a business that people are ready to pay for? How well are you able to convert that information into a solution? And that is where the money is. Ability to convert veterinary public health meat inspection information into a product. Ability to convert farm animal management or health information into a business. Ability to convert even physiological parameters into an app. Ability to convert some basic business models, ability to help farmers, the information that you have, problems that farmers have that you have seen in the period of time, ability to convert them into a business, or probably into a business that runs on technology, is the future of the veterinary practice. The world is moving away from even the basic meat inspection we do in our abattoirs. The world has gone past that level. So we must be able as veterinarians in Nigeria now change our paradigm. And I'm happy for this particular topic of this conference. So what is veterinary innovation? We've been talking about innovation. We've been talking about how to create something new. So what is veterinary innovation? Steve Jobs said, he said, innovation is the ability to see a change as an opportunity, not a threat. So for example, if you enter into an abattoir and you see the way meat is being inspected, and probably the woman in Abuja who wants to buy that meat or a chicken cannot really differentiate if a meat was inspected by a vet or was not inspected, that is a problem. And that is also money for a veterinarian that can tie veterinary public health to business or an app, where a woman who wants to probably buy a chicken in Nigeria or buy a chicken in Abuja can confirm if that meat or that chicken was inspected by the state government of Oyo State, where that chicken was slaughtered. That's veterinary public health being translated into business. So for me, a veterinary innovation is the process of creating veterinary-related value. And I'm putting that value in bold by applying novel solutions to meaningful problems. So the challenge for us as veterinarians is to begin to scout for problems. Unfortunately, some of us have not been, we have not been trained. Some of us have not been wired. Some of us have not been conformed to see problems as money. And I think that is what the next generation of vets needs to begin to see themselves as. We need to begin to see the problems. We need to begin to build solutions around the problems. And interestingly, I've also discovered that you cannot have a solution to a problem that you are not part of. Meaning that if you are not in a field, if you are not part of the practitioners in that field, you will not see the problem. And until you begin to see the problem, you can't develop the solution. And it is in developing solution that you generate the value. And it is when you have the value that money begins to follow you. It is when you begin to develop values that come from the solutions that money begins to follow you. So in a nutshell, the first thing for a veterinary innovation is, number one, it must create value. Number two, it must have a solution to a particular problem. And I'm happy that Nigeria has a lot of problems, veterinary problems. And so that means for every veterinary problem, there is an innovation that is coming up. For example, the VCM, Veterinary Council of Nigeria, we should be able to confirm every veterinarian VCN number, probably via an app. Presently, we don't have that app. That's a business. There are quite a lot we as veterinarians can begin to do in this particular space. So that takes me to the next slide. Okay, there's an error here. What will drive you to innovate as a veterinarian, or why do you want to innovate? Innovators in the veterinary profession create value, which is new products, methods, and ideas, and they will manage.
I'm tired, seriously, from day one.
Manage to look at problems differently, which is what I have said. Ability for a veterinarian to be taught in the university or to be taught by mentorship on the field to see problems as a way of making money. Develop a solution around it, either analog solutions or probably tech solutions. But the way the world is now, if your solution does not ride on technology, it might be highly limited, it might be restricted. So your solution must be able to provide endless streams of values. So that takes us to the next slide. How many types of innovation do we have? We have incremental innovation, where a particular product is already in the market and you need to add features to that product to be able to move that product from point A to point B. And you see this more in vehicles or machines or software that has already been existing. The next one is disruptive innovations, which we all know about: Apple, iPhone, or Beam. Beam is the tool that was developed by a veterinary company in Nigeria. Then you talk about the architectural innovation, where you apply an innovation in one industry and you bring it into your own industry, and it works perfectly. Then the last one is the radical innovation, which can also be termed as invention. For example, in the days of airplane, there was a means of transportation, but when airplane was invented, it changed the way man transmitted from one place to the other. For example, another one is electricity, another one is computer. So you can think that, okay, which part of this innovation do I want to put my feet? Do I want to create something new? Do I want to probably create a disruptive innovation in vitamins, in vaccine production? Do I want to develop a tech tool that will move from point A to point B? And interestingly, we have even had vets that have developed new drugs, even in this country. I can give you one name or two other names that veterinarians, even in Oyo State, that have developed their own brand of products that are not imported, used based on their experience over a period of time. They've been able to develop veterinary products, vitamins, probiotics that are functioning and are effective on the field. So you must, as a vet, going forward, say, okay, which type of innovation do I want to step into? Is it incremental? Is it disruptive? Is it architectural? Or the radical one, which sometimes is called invention. So I'm going to just quickly run us through someone might ask, we've talked so much about innovation. Have you personally been an example of this innovation? Well, in the last few years, I've worked in the poultry industry, worked with poultry farmers, looked at the problems, the challenges, and we have been able to develop a solution, what we call BIM, which is Broiler Business Intelligence Management Tool. In a nutshell, BIM is like a predictive analytical tool that runs on cloud-based technology, running on different algorithms to calculate and predict what is happening on the farm, broiler production precisely. We've been able to gather the standards over a period of time, using technology trend analysis. We've been able to use big data analysis to gather the trends of broiler production across the globe. And this was compressed into a product, a technological tool that we have used in the last 3 years and has given us result of less than 3% mortality for our broiler farmers, which is, let me use the word smallholder farmers across the Southwest, because Southwest, where you have more than 70% to 80% of broiler farmers in the country. So over the last 3 years, we have worked with the industry. We have seen the problems of the farmers. And like Dr. Shamsudeen said, you must be able to do the needs assessment of your clients, of your customers. And that's what we have been able to do. We've been able to look at what are the problems of the farmers, what are the problems of investors, what is the problem of the bankers. And everybody says we cannot predict. Ability to predict if there's going to be a problem on the farm is key for the farmer and also the investor. And that is the catch for us. So we went ahead and were able to develop Broiler Business Intelligence Management Tool, which this presently now the product has been launched, and a good number of farmers are already using the tool. I'm just trying to quickly run. So what does BIM do? It has opportunity to give you the daily weight gain, weekly average weight, feed conversion, daily permissible mortality, livability mortality. This solution is accessible to everyone that runs a broiler farmer, either a broiler farmer or a veterinarian or an investor, because it's hosted on cloud technology. So what we have been able to do is to create a predictable system, because a lot of people want to employ vets, or they want to come into the industry that we employ vets, especially investors, but they are afraid because it's not predictable. So how do you develop a solution that will make it predictable, that will make it, you can quickly analyze what is happening? And when you look at the market is about 1.24 trillion. But we're able to do 1 or 2 calculations, we arrived at this number. So business model, subscription, custom license. This is not syringe and needle and syringe. This is basically creating solutions for farmers to be able to analyze their farm even before there's a problem on the farm. I just have a few more slides to go. So we're just looking at the traction. How many birds have we been able to practicalize or produce using this BIM? We've been able to produce more than 1 million birds with an average of 1.8 kg birds with less than 3%, and it's ongoing. I just finished the production and it's 2% still using this particular solution with different testimonies. The reason why I'm trying to go through this is that these things are not far-fetched. They are very close to us. You don't really need to look far before you begin to see the problems that you can develop solutions for. And like Dr. Daniel said, when you develop solutions that are universal, anywhere in the world can buy into your solution. So far, it is universal, though it is locally produced. So far, it can solve people's problems, either within your country or outside your country. A solution that brings value is universally accepted. And I'm going to repeat that. A solution that brings value, it is universally accepted, especially in our industry, because the breed of chicken produced in the US, which is Awoyele, is the same that is produced in Nigeria. Ross or Cobb or Awoyele produced in Europe or South Africa is the same one we are using. So if you can create a solution that will help the Awoyele farmers or Ross farmers or farmers that grow Cobb broilers or a particular breed of cattle in Nigeria, you can actually still sell that product to anyone, anywhere in the world. And this will bring me to the end of my talk. I remain Dr. Awoyele Adebayo from EMMSAR Veterinary Services. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, a round of very familiar and common emoji for our presenter. We really appreciate great work. Like I said, there are a lot to think about, starting from the business angle, the technology angle, the innovation. There are a lot to think about, sincerely. And it's time for us to take questions because we don't have so much time. There are some questions that have already been dropped in the chat box. One for Dr. Shamsudeen and another for Dr. Daniel. Please, let's start from this. You can attend to the question and then we'll go to Dr. Daniel. After that, anybody that asks question, you can just raise up your hand and then you'll be allowed to ask your question.
Okay. So I think there are two. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the questions that I'm seeing that are related to my presentation here is one on advice. How can we advise on sourcing funds, grants, and so on. So basically, the first advice I give people who try to source for funding, especially grants, is to learn how to develop a very, let me say, bankable business plan. You need to be able to put together a simple business plan that answers the questions around what your products are or what your innovation, who are the customers, and how much money you need to be able to run the business or the innovation in the next maybe 1, 2, or 3 over a given period, and what are you expected to generate. So business plan basically should be able to show that, okay, if I get this grant of 1 million naira, maybe in the next 2 years, I should be able to realize the amount of money that was funded. So in business plan, they assess return on investment. They want to see that it's profitable. They want to see that you are able to break even, like you are able to recover the money that you are investing within the shortest possible period of time. So I think that a short way to answer the question is get a good business plan. And then secondly, you need, especially for grants, you need to have documentation. You need to show that your business at least is registered, is legally registered. That's where most times you start, and have a governance structure. They need to also see that you have support. You are not just one person. You have a team, a very good team that can help you actualize the business idea if you are funded. And most importantly, you should have like 2 or 3 people on your board, people who are already known in the industry, who can serve as, I don't want to call the referee, but you can call them your advisors or mentors. They also need to see that there are people actually backing you, people can help you succeed. So learn how to write business plan, and for vets and vet-related grants, especially within the livestock, a lot of them within the livestock space. Just like the last speaker said, you need to be able to show the innovation. How is the innovation going to help hundreds or thousands or millions of users, farmers in this case? So if you position your solution, your practice or your app or whatever you're doing in a way that it has a high level of social impact, many users, many farmers, you need to be able to show the social part of the impact of them funding your business. Then sustainability. What advice do you have for a business owner who is running a business remotely for businesses? Yeah, many of just like the last speaker said, the COVID-19 has changed the way almost every business is being done. We conducted a survey during that COVID-19, during the lockdowns, on veterinary practices in Nigeria, and we found out that a lot of things have changed. People are working remotely. People are offering telemedicine, so to say. People are offering online consultation to farmers. Yeah, so it's in fact it's now a necessity that you have to have some part of your work being online or remotely. So if you want to be sustainable, make sure that your team, you have KPIs. Again, there's always this tendency that since we are not coming to office physically, people may tend to want to relax. But if you have key performance indicators for your staff to say that today, X, Y, this is what you are going to achieve by end of this week, and then you track, and then you have meetings, progress meetings. I think it's a fine way. We are working on projects, a lot of projects, and we hardly meet with our team from beginning to the end of the project. So I don't know which other question is specifically for me. Somebody said on tap and underrated niches as young graduates veterinarian can venture into. I know that some presenters will be talking more on this opportunity specifically, but there are a lot of them. Dr. Sokweju, I don't know if you find any question that's related to, okay, which grants are available? Honestly, a lot of grants. Just go online, follow many NGOs who are working in livestock sector, who are working in the tech space, who are working in animal health. Just follow them online. From time to time, they have some innovation challenge, that they call for, and then you'll be able to see.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Now let's go to Dr. Daniel. Dr. Daniel, I don't know if you can cite some of those questions so you can attend to them. Thank you.
Okay, I think I can see 2 questions for me. Okay, so how does the internet situation affect the effectiveness of technology in veterinary practice? When we say technology, we are saying something very broad, right? Many times we assume that technology only has to do with internet, but you know that there are technologies that are deployed via USSD shortcodes, right? We have a lot of organizations like that. I know a couple in Uganda and even Ghana, even Cameroon. I have a friend that does something similar in Cameroon. So VSSD shortcodes to just deploy services. So technology doesn't have to just be restricted to mobile app and all of that. So it depends on which technology you are actually deploying. So if you are deploying technology, say for urban and a rural settlement, so you have to be able to accommodate both. So if you want to leverage that, so that's why I'll use fintech as an example again. So reaching the unbanked. So there is technology for the unbanked. So that is tech, right? There's technology for the bank. So, for the unbanked, mobile money agents, POS machines, all of those things are available. So that is how they have, separated how to interact with these different customer niches. So, but for you in an urban settlement, they know that you can use an app, you have good, solid internet connection. So whatever way you are trying to deploy, your solution, look for what best fits into the particular category that you are looking to reach. So another question, how can veterinary, so long and short is that internet situation is a given, right? So you have to know the people that you're targeting, the location and all of that. You have to factor it in delivering your solution. So how can veterinary telemedicine be utilized properly? Having a Nigerian factor and the practice in mind. Okay, so veterinary telemedicine, well, I don't know if there are, if we have examples of people that currently do veterinary telemedicine on a large scale in Nigeria. But I might be able to share some experience because I did telemedicine, but however, not veterinary, human telemedicine. And, it was an industry challenge. So the challenge we had was basically an industry challenge on scalability and also dependent on the market readiness. So, so most of the people in the space of telemedicine then now eventually pivoted to, so pivoted means pivot means to change strategy, right? It's allowed in business where you see that something is not working or a certain business model is not working, and then you have to, just try something else, test something else quickly and see if that works on them. So they pivoted mostly to now offering insurance, health insurance packages, right? So now that started working. So might not be able to have specific veterinary telemedicine, but what I would say is that because if you are starting a business and you don't have a lot of resources, you want to start lean, you want to make sure that you are doing the right things, you are stepping on the right places, you are not making many mistakes. Definitely you make mistakes, but you have to make sure that your mistakes are limited as much as possible. So the best way to do it is what we call design thinking. So design thinking is basically having your customer in mind, right? Having what is your customer thinking, right? So working your customer, particular people that you want to deploy the product for, working with them, and then knowing exactly how they intend or how best they'll be able to use the product. And you keep getting a lot of feedback from them and know exactly what they would want, what they would need, and how they would use and how they will interact with the product. So if you want to do telemedicine, I would advise that starting from a clinic, I mean, if it's telemedicine or something, or basically maybe not the clinic, but a center where the customers, a place where the customers come to see what are the limitations and look at how you can use technology to improve on that. Because at the end of the day, it is delivering value, I mean, substantial value. Dr. Awoyele talked about meaningful problems. So substantial, you have to deliver a substantial value, a tangible value that they will even be willing to pay for. So let me see if there's any other questions. Okay. I guess that's it. That's all the questions that were tagged to me.
Thank you very much, Daniel. If you still have any other questions, we have about 5 minutes to do that. So please, if you have any question, you can just raise your hand so that you'll be given an opportunity to ask your question. Okay, so if there are no questions, I just posted a link to the chat box. Please, for those people that have not joined the WhatsApp group, I would encourage you to join the WhatsApp group because like somebody asked a question about business opportunity. There are a lot of that will be posted on that WhatsApp group for grants and some other acceleration program and incubation programs and some other trainings that can develop your business skills. And then you can also apply for some grants where you can eventually be picked for your solution. That will be done on that WhatsApp group. So I would want to encourage everyone to join. I don't know, is Dr. Larry still available? You raised your hand. I wanted to ask a question. Are you still around, please? Yeah, I'm not sure if he's still here. So, like I was saying, so please try to join the WhatsApp group. And somebody mentioned the veterinary telemedicine. You are still going to get to have some information regarding that if you are going to stick with us to the end of this conference. And there are some other things that's insightful ideas that will eventually come if you can stick with us till the end of this conference, because there are some parts that I will also, like I said, I will also still be presenting, and like Dr. Shamsudeen also mentioned during his presentation, that currently also trying to help people develop their businesses from startup, and we're currently doing that too. So it is going to be a great thing if we can work together for the development of your good ideas that you have. So the conference continues next week, and please note that we have decided to live stream today, but we on Facebook, but we are not going to be live streaming subsequently. So we just want to allow people to have a taste of what is going on in this conference. We are supposed to make it a closed conference for veterinarians alone, so it's supposed not to be live stream on Facebook. For the benefit of those that may not be able to participate, that is why we had to do that. For them to be able to at least have a taste of what we are doing here. Subsequently, we are going to keep it only to Zoom, and we want to encourage as many that were not in attendance today to participate subsequently. It continues every Friday by 11 a.m. and the timetable has already been sent. If you have not yet received the timetable, please join the conference group through the link that I sent to the chat box, so that you can have access to the timetable and you'll be able to see the presenter, the topic they are presenting on, when they are presenting, and all the other details. I want to thank everybody, especially our presenters that have sacrificed their time to be part of this epoch-making event, and for all the participants that have taken it upon themselves to be patient enough throughout this time. I really appreciate your time. And before you go, I would just want you to do me a favor. Within the next 5 minutes, I want you to please help us type in the chat box what you think about the conference, where you want us to improve on, what you think we can do better in the next conference, in the next day of the conference, so that we can put all of those things together. It can even be criticism, constructive criticism. Please, anything will just be fine by us, and we so much appreciate if you can take your time to do that. And if you have enjoyed it, you can also comment how much you have enjoyed it. All of those will be highly appreciated. Within just 5 minutes, please, everybody, you can do that for us, and we'll so much appreciate it. From the whole team of EVMEDS, we want to really appreciate. There are some team members that are also here, Dr. Victor, Dr. Choma. So they are also here, and we want to say thank you, and see you next week. Thank you very much.